microphone. I gotcha.
Greg's the camera guy. He loves the camera.
I do.
I love the camera, guys. You could hit it. We usually give the viewing audience on.
We are published.
Are we?
Yeah.
Cool. Let's see when it comes out. Oh, shit. It says we're live on YouTube. That's crazy. Oh, we look good. Lighting's good. You zooming in on your fingers.
Ooh,
Let's share it for the world.
Welcome to Movie Phone.
Yo, we're live on the YouTube. That was loud on that one, too. Let's get... Uh-oh. Oh, shit. We have a couple people watching already.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we do.
No one's fucking watching this shit.
Why not? They don't like you.
They don't like your gay shirt.
This is not gay. This is one of the greatest shirts ever.
Eerie, Indiana. Population 16,661.
Yes. All right. We'll start it with an intro. I'm going to play their intro, bro.
Their intro?
Yeah, how do you feel about it? We'll discuss it.
All right.
All right, ready? Ready to go live?
We're already live.
We're live for the YouTube audience.
Yeah.
But this doesn't go into what people hear in their headphones.
In the podcast?
On the podcast. You ready? In 3, 2, 1.
So gay.
Why is that gay?
Because
You can't say that anymore either.
What do you want me to say?
That's not appropriate.
What's appropriate then?
All right. You ready? In 3.
Welcome to Movie Phone.
Eerie, Indiana, day 45. I knew my hometown was going to be different from where I grew up in New Jersey, but this is ridiculous. Nobody believes me, but Eerie is the center of weirdness for the entire planet. Item. A guy that looks suspiciously like Elvis lives on my paper.
So, dude, Eerie, Indiana.
Item.
You ripped off the theme.
What do you mean I ripped off the theme?
It's okay.
No, we're discussing
this.
this. I think this is one of the greatest openings to a show ever.
Why?
A couple of things. Because he talks about Jersey.
Well, yeah, okay.
It's eerie, so it's all eeriness. You know, with Bigfoot. Bigfoot's in it. They have the 666 reference.
Yeah.
What else do they have? Marshall Teller. He even has the same sweatshirt that we used to wear.
Yes.
I don't know. It just screams everything paranormal. Everything. It just everything that I encompassed in my childhood about the paranormal, supernatural, and why I love Halloween and this. It screams it. You know, they have. Just look at it.
Just look at it.
I mean, anybody could look at it online. The extended Eerie, Indiana intro. I don't know. It just reminds me of my childhood. But
you just
also,
love this.
Yeah. Well, is there a show that got you that said, all right, this is one of the greatest openings? Because besides this one, I really love the Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah, that was always a good classic one.
I really enjoyed that opening. Those two were probably my top horror, paranormal kind of show.
The Twilight Zone was pretty good.
That was not bad. I enjoyed the Unsolved Mysteries music more than anything, but the intro was,
what was
very
the other
basic.
one? There was the Twilight Zone. Maybe it was Tales from the Crypt. I think it was that show. I liked that show.
I like that too because
how long did that show run for?
Tales from the Crypt?
Yeah, a long time, right?
Yeah, a long time.
See,
it wasn't like Eerie, Indiana.
Yeah, see, I don't get that, man.
Why?
I guess we'll talk more about that in the show.
Eerie, Indiana.
Yeah.
Brought to you by
Movie Phone.
Movie Phone. No, but yeah, this was just a classic show that only lasted for a season.
No, it lasted for 2 seasons.
No,
right?
it didn't. I mean, they planned on doing a lot more. I think it was just such a big budget, from what I read, that they were losing money. The ratings weren't where they would like it to be to renew it. And that's why it got canceled. But we'll talk more about the show, how it got into it. I wanted to start us off with the intro. There's another intro, too. That was the extended intro. This is just like the normal
My name is
intro.
Marshall Teller. I knew my new hometown was going to be different from where I grew up in
That
New
was
Jersey.
me as a
But
kid.
this is ridiculous.
It resonated
Nobody
with me.
believes me. But Eerie, Indiana
It's the
is the
center of weirdness
for
the entire planet.
Yeah, well,
I took that for
Elvis
our
was on
show.
my
you
paper route.
definitely copyrighted that shit right off of
It's
it.
out of my
See, it
trash.
talks about Elvis.
Item.
Maybe we could talk about
Even
that on the
man's best friend
podcast.
is
What?
weird.
About
Still
is
don't
Elvis
believe
really
me?
dead?
You
There's
don't think he
conspiracy
really
about that.
died?
I don't know. But
I think
Bigfoot-
that's one of the stupidest conspiracy theories ever.
You think so?
Yes. Elvis is an alien or Elvis isn't dead.
So there it is. People can go look up the show, Eerie, Indiana. It has grown a bigger following though.
Well, it's like
'Cause-
one of those cult classic movies that like didn't really do so well like when it first came out, and then like over the years it gained a following.
Yeah, because for the 25, if you look at the box set that I have there, it was for the 25th anniversary,
Yeah.
and it came out. And I remember like it came out, I was like, holy crap, I got to get this. Now, if you look online, people are selling it for like $80, 150, $200.
You should sign that copy and then sell it for like $500.
No way.
Why not?
I'm not gonna get another. I mean, now that it's on Amazon Prime, anybody can watch it.
Boom.
But I want it, man.
Like getting like to what we enjoy. Like you ever think the Ghost Hunters will be like that?
In terms of what?
I mean, I don't know. Remember when we went to go see them? We got the box sets of their DVDs, like the first 2 seasons.
What, become like a cult classic
Yeah.
kind of thing?
Or- no.
No, I think it already had a big following to begin with. This one, well, here's the difference, right? Now, if we go back and look at the Eerie, Indiana,
Sure.
and what it, give people kind of some backstory on this, why we're talking about it. This got me all into the paranormal.
This solely.
I wouldn't say solely, but when you look back,
How old were you when it first came out?
it first aired in what, 91?
Yeah.
92. From September 15th, 1991. I'll pull it up on the screen.
So you were 10, 11 years old.
Yeah, so September 15th, 1991 to April 12th, 1992. And yeah, I mean, it had some big names in it. Joe Dante from the
Okay.
Burbs.
Yeah.
We have a poster of the Burbs here in the studio. So that was a big name. Here's the thing. Nowadays, people can go on, Netflix, Amazon, you could DVR stuff.
Sure.
Back then you couldn't.
Yeah, that's
and,
true.
And when this was airing, I think it originally aired on Sunday nights.
Okay.
And it's like, all right, who's watching this kind of show Sunday nights?
Well, like it was geared towards like teen as well as like kids, because you had, which I like. I don't know. Like I guess when you watch it, you really don't think about it. The like the ages of them were 13 and 9.
Right.
So that's a pretty like. I mean, that's like us.
At the time of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 years apart. So they're trying to like. I guess like the audience that they were trying to get or grab is like teens and then like elementary school kids.
Well, when we were growing up, we
Right?
would watch TGI Fridays, right?
Yeah,
It
I
wasn't
remember.
on TGI Friday or whatever,
No.
TGIF.
Yeah, I remember that. That was
TGIF?
oh shit. Yeah.
Yeah, see, but I think this is where it resonates with a lot of people because it brings back that childhood. And I remember, I always have an obsession with Eerie, Indiana and the Spy House. For some reason,
Why did you connect those two?
I just remember it was in the early 90s
Okay.
when I would bug mom to take me to the Spy House because I always wanted to see a ghost. I always heard it was haunted.
Yeah.
You hear stories and be like, oh man, there's so much cool history. It was right on the water. On a nice clear day, you could see New York City.
I mean, you still can.
No, yeah, but I'm saying, I just remember that thinking it was much larger, I guess, than life.
Yeah.
Kinda thing.
Well, everything like when you're little is smaller. I mean, you're smaller, so it's bigger.
Plus, I know you don't like the movie, but
Which one?
Mr. Marshall Teller himself from Eerie, Indiana.
Hocus
was in
Pocus?
Hocus Pocus. So I had a love for Halloween early on.
Is that why you think you like Hocus Pocus? You just love Marshall Teller.
His name's not Marshall Teller. What's his real name?
I'm not really sure.
Oh, come on, man. I thought you weren't watching the show.
I don't know his real
Omri
name.
Katz.
Omri Katz.
Yeah, that's his name. I don't know. I'm not making fun of the guy.
That's a fucking gay name.
Man.
I'm sorry, I can't say gay
You
anymore.
can't say that anymore. You can't do that. So the whole plot of this thing, which, hey, it's like our show, right?
Yeah.
It revolves around Marshall Teller. He was a teenager. His family moved because of his dad's job from New Jersey.
Mm.
And in the opening credits, he talks about it. It's polluted, it's dirty. There's a lot of crime. and then he moves to this so wholesome, squeaky clean town called Eerie in Indiana with a population of 1,666,1. Yeah, they
Yeah, they suddenly put it in there.
Yeah, so and then he meets his best friend, Simon Holmes.
Which is like kind of funny though. Like you wouldn't think like he would make friends with like a kid in his own grade.
I mean, he explains it in the opening. You watched it.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, like,
nobody believes him that this is, Eerie is the center of weirdness. Everything's crazy, but Simon, I mean, if you look at it like Sherlock Holmes, Simon Holmes is,
Yeah, they had like a lot of good parallels to like other things, and like a lot of subtle like Easter eggs, I guess you could say.
They did, and if you actually look at the cast, some of the casting, I don't know if you watched all the episodes. I know you said you watched Foreverware, which was their first one.
Yep.
That was the pilot.
The Retainer
one. Tornado Days, you said you watched.
And the Other Dimension.
Did you watch the Halloween episode?
No. Which one was that? Because it wasn't titled Halloween.
No, it was... let's see. I could pull it up. Well, I'm sure it's on the list, too.
Yeah, because I mean, I looked through like a bunch of them to watch. And those are the only ones that I picked out. Like, I guess because of the name.
Well, let's see. The first one was Foreverware. The second one was Retainer.
Yep.
The third one was the ATM Heart of Gold.
Yep.
The fourth one was The Losers. Number 5, that's the Halloween episodes.
Okay.
America's Scariest Home Video, which during that time, too, they did have America's Funniest Home Video.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a play on that.
Which one was your favorite?
I did like the Halloween, whatever, the America's Scariest Home Video.
Okay.
Heart of Chain I thought was cool for a number of reasons.
Is that the one because you like the girl in it?
Danielle Harris?
That's the one he fell in love with, or like,
Yeah.
That was like the love story one?
Yeah. And it also had the kid from The Burbs in it.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's a scream queen, man. She was in Halloween. And they did have a lot of...
She was in Halloween? What did she play in Halloween?
Are you being serious? 4 and 5?
Oh, the 4. Okay. I think you meant the original one.
No.
Yeah.
And here's another one, The Dead Letter. That was a cool one. Tobey Maguire. Everybody knows him as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He came in. Who was the other one? Oh, yeah. Nikki Cox was in The Lost Hour. That was also a good one. And yeah, there's a bunch of good ones.
See, it's just like, I don't know, like, why does some shows make it and some shows don't?
It came 19 total episodes. Originally, I only think...
See, we're like here. So 1992, and then the last episode was 1993.
Well, you know how they do with TV shows nowadays, where they split it up during the seasons.
Technically, there was 2 seasons.
No.
That was just the episode 1 of the second season. Technically.
I guess if you want to look at it like that, but they didn't air them all. If you look back when they originally aired all these.
Yeah, I remember that.
I think they only aired, I could be wrong, so somebody can correct me. I think it was 17 episodes.
Listen, don't get this wrong, because that guy's going to be pissed again.
What guy?
From our YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah. Greg wanted to comment on that.
We should.
Last week
there was a guy who didn't like
the Flat Earth.
Our Flat Earth,
which we've been talking with some other people about coming on a podcast, and we had some of the guys from the Flat Earth podcast reach out to us after I contacted him. He wanted me to contact him. I did. We've been talking, and it's been a good conversation. So we'll see where it goes, and we'll have to have them on.
I would like to debate that guy.
Yeah,
I have a lot of questions.
Topic. I know you do.
I know.
So we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
What about, I know we haven't done weird news yet. Usually we do a weird news segment, but this week we're not doing one. Why? Why are we not doing it?
I like when you do that.
You like when I do that?
Yeah. No, we talked about that on the
Weekday Weird. We're going to start doing weekday weird segments. We're going to put out a video.
Say that 3 times fast.
I can't. But we're going to put out some videos of just the weirdness that goes on. The first one we have coming up is about the CIA death gun.
Which is pretty crazy. I looked into that. That is definitely
could be
weird.
a bigger episodes. Cause
that could be.
So we'll talk about it. So Yeah, we're not doing the weird news unless something huge comes out. Then we'll talk about like a UFO sighting.
Do you like the weekday weird news?
Who are you talking to?
Maybe it's a ghost. Maybe it's not.
Is it the ghost?
No.
Is the ghost in studio?
No. it's
Finally?
not.
He's been sick, so he's been out.
Ooh. Yeah.
We have my good buddy who helped me out in the very beginning. He did 2 episodes. What was it? 1 and 2 with Chad Savage and Leonard Pickle.
Yes, Leonard Pickle. He had the.
You do remember him, right?
Yes, he had the scary haunted houses.
Yeah, he designed haunted houses,
Yes,
haunted
Haunt
attractions.
That's pretty sweet.
Haunt
It
Con.
is. I can get him back on. He's a great guy. But our buddy Joe, he's in studio today with us.
Yep, I'm here.
He's filling in for the ghost.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody could replace the ghost, but yeah, he helped me out a lot in the beginning to get the Nightmare 365 podcast rolling.
That's it.
So thanks for coming.
Get him started.
That's it. It was good. It was good times. It was a different show, different format.
Different times.
Different times, man.
So that was like Eerie, Indiana, the original, and
this is
the
2.0.
no, we're the remake.
The remake?
The
Oh, the other dimension. You
Yeah.
want to talk about the other dimension too? Well, let's
I think we should.
we'll get into that. So we got a little bit off the plot. So the plot was
What plot?
about Eerie, Indiana. Marshall Teller moves.
Basically, he investigates everything weird that's going on in his town.
Yeah, he does.
I'll sum that up right there.
That's
Boom.
it?
Done.
You're not giving the people anything more? What if people haven't figured out what Eerie, Indiana is? That you're not really giving them anything. I think I would be pretty pissed. I'd be like, I want to know more.
What do you want to know?
I want to hear some stories, and then all of a sudden you're like, yeah, he just investigates the paranormal.
He
bro.
does, man.
Oh, that's about it. Have a good night, everybody.
That would be great.
I just think it's cool because I always wanted somebody like this, and I guess you were that, but I feel like
Not really. I was six years old.
Yeah, you didn't really give a shit about this stuff back in
No.
the day.
No.
Do you think you started to care more about like paranormal, supernatural stuff? Like when did it really click for you?
I don't know, man.
I mean, I know you're not obsessed with what I am.
I'm definitely not obsessed like you are. I mean, I'm into this.
Do you think I take it to another level?
No.
It's
I'm more
unhealthy?
into the conspiracy
Mom
theories.
thought I was gonna like go be nuts.
I mean, look at this. You pretty much are.
I mean, the studio, yeah, it's all about haunted crap,
And he sleeps 2 feet away.
he does it.
No, I'm more into like conspiracy theories. And I guess you could say like you could tie that into like paranormal, yeah.
Yeah, but all right, here's a question just from thinking about Eerie, Indiana growing up and really enjoying this, because I always wanted to have like a sidekick, like a friend who was hunting like the paranormal, even though I never went out and ghost hunted a lot.
Why not? See, this is a good topic to get into.
All right, let's talk about it.
You were so into this show. You
Yeah.
were so into like all these, scary movies and all that stuff.
But I never did any of
Yeah,
this.
you never did anything. Why?
Because I probably didn't have my Simon Holmes.
You had how many were there of you?
Oh, the Screamers?
Yeah.
Well, people don't know what the Screamers is.
I know, but you should explain that. Because that was like
My group? Well,
Yeah.
we have the picture if you want to zoom in on the picture. So my friends, we were into horror movies, and we would watch a lot of different horror movies, and we dressed up like the characters from the horror movies. We had Jason, Freddy.
Yeah.
Who do we have? Scream.
Yeah.
I was Michael Myers.
Yeah.
We had our buddy we just called him Ghoulface. He was just all in black. Yeah, you could
Who's
say
all in black?
that was Jared.
But
I forget what costume we had.
you just
And
had the white thing.
he
There
just
you go.
said, whatever.
Jared the goalie?
Yeah. See, Joe knows
I
a
know
bunch of these
Jared.
guys. You know Joe. Cobb is Freddy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ah.
So we called ourselves the Screamers. And
So that was like
yeah, but we only went out around Halloween. We dressed up. We made a movie. You were in the movie.
I was in both of them.
I had to make a film sophomore year for school, and I said, let's make a horror movie. So we put Michael Myers and Scream together in a horror movie, and we just went around killing each other. How many times were you killed in the movie? Twice?
The first one,
Yeah.
twice, yeah.
Yeah. You were
Twice.
in the first scene.
Yep, with the girlfriend.
Yeah.
Or the sister, whatever.
Yeah. It was your sister. That's messed up now that you're thinking she's your girlfriend.
You never know. I don't know how old I was.
I would love to get that video and put it up on our YouTube page.
Dude, I was probably how old was I? I was probably in
You
like
did
middle
actually-
school.
You really did good improvising some of your lines.
Why?
Well, because we didn't really have a script
That is true.
and we were just winging it,
Yeah.
and it was. I forget what you said about like the popcorn or something.
Oh yeah.
Is the popcorn ready?
Yeah.
But it was just one of those things where you really improvise.
Yeah, and then I
There was a lot of awkward moments in that first opening scene.
there was.
But then you both, we'll put it out there one day.
And then I was killed in the woods.
Yeah, you were one of the security guards or
I
something.
was the
grave digger.
Yeah, the grave digger.
But that was cool. It was a cool school project that I had to do on the old. I remember that camera. Like
Yes.
nowadays, everything's on the phone. We had that big
Yeah.
camera that you sit on the top of your shoulder. I remember the teacher wasn't thrilled about our movie.
Why?
It was too violent. And
we
I
cursed.
think we cursed a lot.
Yeah, we did. Well, in the second one, there was
And-
no holds bar.
Well,
We
the
cursed.
second one we wanted to make for just ourselves, and we never finished it.
We should finish that.
Yeah, right. After what? That was like
That would
30
be-
years ago.
that would be
20 years something.
Phenomenal. I don't know, but like, so like as Marshall did, like you had like friends that were into that stuff. So like it kind of like it's funny.
Yeah,
like
but
you never.
they weren't into it as far as the aspect of like the paranormal conspiracies like you are
Yeah.
into it. They were into the horror movies.
Yeah, see, like I never was really big into horror movies. I was really big into like conspiracy theories as well as like I don't know, like The Burbs. Like I really liked like movies like that. So not necessarily horror movies, but
I would classify The Burbs as somewhat of a horror kind
Yeah.
of flick because there's different types of genres in the horror thing. You have your slashers,
Yeah.
you have your the psychological thrillers.
yep.
You can go, the list goes on and on. But even today, right? As much as I watch horror movies,
Yeah.
I mean, what have I been obsessed with? Like Unsolved Mysteries. I
When
really
is like
to
the
read
last
cases.
good horror movie that came out though?
Yeah, but it all
Like
depends.
good.
They all been like copies off of each other.
Like maybe Saw 1. Probably, right?
Wow, you're dating that like that long ago?
Yeah. Because that was an original idea. That
What
was
about-
pretty sweet.
I enjoyed Insidious.
No, I didn't see that one.
I enjoyed the first one.
Huh.
The Conjuring was pretty good.
Okay.
So
Strangers 1 was good.
Strangers was good. We went to see The Strangers Pray at Night. What'd you think of that one?
It was good, and then like some of that shit pisses me off.
I know it does because it's not realistic.
Correct. I want them to make a realistic, like Scream. That was like a realistic movie.
I enjoyed that. That was
Yeah.
a great movie.
Yep.
And that was the same time around this, where we got the idea for the Screamers because we were still
yeah,
young enough.
Yeah, that.
Because I was in the later 90s. So even after this, when it came out, and The Other Dimension came out in 1998. So right around the same time.
Funny as hell.
It is. But
And you never heard of these?
Joe is sitting in.
The movies you're talking about?
No, like Eerie,
The T-
Indiana.
Oh, I've
TV
never
show?
heard of Eerie, Indiana. No.
So are you like into big paranormal?
It's funny that you were talking about the Screamers. I used to totally be into like Friday the 13th. That was like my favorite. Would rent them from, the video, VHS. At the time.
West Coast Video.
Blockbuster,
West Coast Video.
Well, I lived a little bit, north, so I would go to Video Is
That's awesome.
on in Strathmore.
See, but
I used to love those, yeah.
this is the type of thing that I wanted to talk about Eerie, Indiana, because it does have a cult following.
Yeah.
And it also reminds us as like kids,
Yeah.
because I remember Friday nights, even when we were very young. Do you remember going to, I forget what the video store was called, where we used to live. And when you would pick off a tag and you look at a movie and there'd be like 2 tags left and you're like, oh shit, I got to get it.
No,
'Cause you
I
would
don't
have
remember
to
that.
turn in the tag to get a movie.
No, I don't remember that.
Oh, you don't remember that at all?
No.
See, you're probably really young.
No, all I remember is Hollywood Video.
Oh, so you remember when we moved.
Yeah, I don't remember when we didn't.
Dude, I remember we used to get so excited and Dad would take us to the movie store.
Dude, I have a
And-
hysterical story about
what,
going.
Dad?
Yes, and you trying to go to the movies.
I don't remember.
You don't
this.
remember what I'm talking about? Oh, dude, this was classic.
All right, go ahead.
I don't know where Mom was, and we were in this house, so like, I don't know how young we were. We were pretty young though, because it wasn't redone.
Okay.
and I remember you like begging Dad to go to rent a movie.
All right, rent a movie, not like go to the movies.
I don't know if it was rent a movie or go to the movies. It was one of those. But he kept saying like no, 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 no.
Yeah.
And like this literally probably went on for like a good hour.
No.
Yes. And
this
then
is
so
probably where your like memories coming into play.
maybe, but I remember you hitting him.
Really?
You don't remember this?
I don't remember this at all.
I remember you hitting him, and like he gets up and he chases after both of us.
Why both of us if I hit him?
I don't know, because I was all caught up in this thing. I don't know. And I remember you holding the door, and Dad's trying to get in. You don't remember this?
Vaguely, but I don't remember.
And
it
he
because
was
of the
like, "You better
movies."
back up. I'm gonna knock this door down." And you had your foot like, you remember the old wooden door that we had?
Yeah.
And I remember Dad just like pushing it in, like in one swoop.
And he just pissed.
And he cracked the belt. I don't know what he did because I was hiding under my bed.
How do you remember that, but you don't remember going to the movies?
I don't know,
Like
man.
the movie like store. But do you remember like Blockbuster getting excited like a Friday night?
Yes.
Like, let's go pick out. And that's what we did with the Screamers
Yeah.
as far as the horror movies. But we never investigated the paranormal, looked into the weirdness. I guess my only thing, and that's why I connect this show with the Spy House, because I remember always begging Mom. Yeah, and you were like, what, 4 or 5 years old? So you probably got dragged along too. But just saying, hey, let's go to the Spy House. I want to see something creepy. And then her like, we just went last week. And I'm like, come on, I want to go.
Like I remember when it like the earliest like horror memory that I have was it had to be Halloween, and we were living in the old house, and we went to a haunted house in the Berg.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
You know, like and they had the big staircase like right when you walked in.
Yeah, but we didn't end up going in, right?
I thought we did. Or did I get too scared?
I think the line was too long, and we started waiting.
Yeah.
And then because we did get up close to the front,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it was still like a longer wait.
Okay.
And then we just left. I think it was just something that was way too long.
That was like my earliest memory.
All right. So then how didn't you remember like the video store?
I don't know, man.
'cause
I remember some
always-
things and
We get really excited going to get Rambo and shit like that.
Rambo.
Yeah. But I remember even like trying to watch The Gate. I remember that was the first horror movie that
Yeah, I
I ever
remember
saw.
that movie. Yeah,
And I remember
that was like with the little guys.
yeah.
Yeah.
So this is just Eerie, Indiana, like encompassed all that and like the childhood memories. I mean, I have a lot of stuff from Eerie, Indiana. I have they even made like a spin-off with the books later on. Not like when it first came out, but it's one of my recommendations for this show. But I don't know, something about this show that really, is me, I guess. And we had the sweatshirt, the giant sweatshirt that I had for a long time that was passed down to you when it didn't fit me anymore. And I don't know, just the plot and everything about this.
Yeah.
If you look at the series as a whole, not just, one individual episode, I think it is what like horror and the paranormal really should be. Or, I mean, this would be a cool...
I think they should redo it.
I don't know if
for like a Netflix series.
I don't want them to redo it just
Why?
because it is something that is just...
Well, kids now will have Stranger Things.
Yeah, this was like my Stranger Things when
Correct.
I was little.
Yep. But see, like nothing was that like publicized though back then. You had to find it on your own, really.
And yeah, it was word of mouth through friends.
Yeah.
It was on a certain time. Does it say when it was on?
I don't think so. No.
Because it was originally aired on NBC. I think Disney took it over later on. Yeah, the Disney Channel started doing the syndications for it from later part of 93 to 1990 or 96. And possibly like my memory, I mean, just like your memory, my memory could probably really suck. And I probably didn't see it when it first came out. I probably saw it when it was like on the Disney Channel in 93, 95, 96.
Well, because we had NBC, but we didn't have cable when we were young.
Yeah, when we were real young, we didn't have that.
We had channel 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11,
But
and
that's
sometimes
the thing,
13.
like, this is why I guess it didn't pick up and it didn't get great ratings because it was on a shitty time slot. Not too many people knew about it. And how do you market this to like kids or even young teens?
They tried to.
They did in a way, but I think it was just a weird age bracket where like these type of kids would be out more than they'd be inside. You know,
I mean, if you really think about it, like during that time, there was no cell phones. There was no there really wasn't any computers.
no,
So,
not
like-
that everybody had.
So like you would be outside playing.
Yeah, and this thing would be on. And it was the same time, you know, like the X-Files was on.
Yeah.
So it was that was another thing. It's a good thing for young people. Like if they, you know, X-Files was too much or too over their head. This was a perfect show for that because it's a good mix of, you know, like the detectives, Sherlock Holmes with, you know, the X-Files.
Now, like explain for people like who don't know
about the show.
about Eerie, like how he would go about like investigating this.
Well, every episode is different.
True.
And I always thought this was reality too. So when you look at the show and you think like stuff like this always happens, right?
Sure.
There would be like an event. Let's take the first episode since you saw it too.
Foreverware.
Right? The first episode where Marshall gets introduced to a local woman who sells this Foreverware product, like this Tupperware product.
Correct. Yeah.
And she comes to the Marshall teller's door.
Yep.
So almost every episode, the thing kind of hits him in the face. It's either one of his friends something happened to, or it's right in front of him, and he doesn't even really have to go look for it. And in this episode, the Foreverware, this Tupperware, anything that you seal in this Tupperware stays forever.
Yeah, like the kids.
Yeah, and the episode has the two kids
Sleep in it.
Yeah, there's no spoiler alerts here since it's been out for 30 years. And yeah, the mother traps these kids in the Foreverware Tupperware
so they don't age. Yeah.
And then after she gives the spiel to her mom saying, "Come over to the Tupperware party," you know, blah blah. You know, one of the kids slips him a note, and in the note it just says a year. Like, check out this, you know, yearbook.
Yeah.
And what is it? 1965. And then when he looks at it, him and Simon go to the library, start digging up, doing some research. And then they find the twins, and they're like, holy crap, they haven't aged for like 30 years. And then they go over, they get like spooked out. They see the mom like trapping him in the Foreverware.
Yeah.
And then he saves them. And then, you know, it's funny. They sit there and like, yeah, we'll take care of mom, like punching their fist. And then later part of the episode comes in where Marshall sees them and they're older.
Yeah.
And the mom's like her, you know, grandma's age now. It's crazy, but it was stuff like that. Even like the retainer to the second episode, where his friend gets this retainer and kind of communicates with dogs.
Yeah.
So they weren't always out like, you know, they were searching for it. I guess one of the episodes you probably didn't see was a later part of the episode. Which one is it? Where they actually go and try to, you know, investigate like the paranormal. And there's this one guy that, you know, they really believe in.
Yeah.
And they like everything that he was like the UFO king or whatever, like the paranormal guy. And he comes to town and they try to like say we have all this evidence.
Was he the alien or not like the alien? Was that the episode you're talking about? The guy, the old guy?
Right.
Yeah.
I forget which episode is that?
No idea.
Who's who? No. Crap, I can't find it. Why can't I find that? There's not even that many.
It was on like one of the top 12 best of Eerie Indiana moments.
Are you serious?
On YouTube. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't see that the thing.
Yeah, like some guy did a video about Eerie, Indiana, and it was on his top 12.
Oh yeah, it's episode 11, Marshall's theory of believability, where the guy professor comes in. You know, he's all about the supernatural. Comes to Eerie with his traveling exhibit. And they have a plot to like scam the town out of money by faking a UFO event and then, you know, capturing the UFO and giving it to the town for a price.
Sure.
And then, you know, Marshall's dad is like a real, I guess, scientist sort of guy or a nerd in that way. And he says, you know, this stuff is not real. Marshall believes in it, like kind of like I do, you know, like we do with conspiracies, paranormal, all that kind of crap. And then it turns out, you know, this guy was just a hoaxer. But in the end, like, you know, the real UFO is always there. And the town was like, woo. So it was stuff like that, man. And it was cool because he kept, like, a record of everything. he had, his locker. He chained it up, keep out. And that's where you see him in the beginning of the episodes where he's like, case, whatever, day 95.
Case file.
28.
There you
Eerie,
go again.
Indiana.
Yeah, I mean,
I just think it was ahead of its time.
I guess so. Like, I wasn't as big of a fan as you. Into
Well,
Eerie, Indiana.
I just remember it growing up, and then all of a sudden, when I was in college, the box set came out, and I was just like, "Holy shit! I got to get it," because I remember every episode. But when you remember stuff and you don't fully remember,
Sure,
it,
yeah.
and then all of a sudden it's just like, "Holy crap! I have to go back and watch it." And I remember just binge watching it when I first got it. It was awesome. And then last year, I even binge watched it for Halloween.
The whole night.
Well, there's only 19 episodes.
The whole day.
I think it was a course of 2 days, but yeah, right around Halloween. It was awesome, man. You hand out candy while have Eerie, Indiana on.
Yeah, I'm telling you, one of these days, man,
What?
or one of these Halloweens,
What?
I'm gonna scare the shit out of people.
In terms of what?
I want to dress up like as a scarecrow
Nah.
on the front porch
Here we go.
and scare people.
You're not going to do it.
I want to do it.
You want to do it, but you're not going to do it.
I'm gonna do it.
All right, we'll see.
I'm gonna do it.
All right, so you said you even watched some of the spin-off.
Yeah.
And
That was horrible.
Yeah, it was the spin-off.
God awful.
Why was it God? The Other Dimension. So The Other Dimension, which we didn't talk about, which I don't think we'll talk about because it was only 15 episodes. It did only air for a season.
Yeah, but same as like the original one.
Not as many episodes.
Not as many.
And it doesn't have that fanfare because I
No.
think they were trying too hard. I did think it was cool, even though it was lame in the beginning, if you saw the first episode where they kind of explain why it's the other dimension.
Yep.
Where this guy was, what was he doing again? I forget. I started watching the series because when we, talked about doing a show in Eerie, Indiana, I was like, maybe I really should watch the other dimension.
And you just couldn't.
I think I got like 6 episodes in, and I was like, forget this. I can't waste my time anymore.
Yeah, it was just awful.
Yeah, the acting wasn't the same.
No.
I think they were trying to force crap, down people's throat because they realized now, like, holy crap.
Like, this was actually a good idea.
Yeah.
Let's try to,
But it didn't have the same names. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it didn't have Joe Dante. It didn't have you can go Jose Rivera, Carl Schaefer. Like, these are some big names, and like the budget and stuff that they had for this,
yeah, it was not
was bigger. Like for the original Eerie, Indiana, not
the original,
not for the
remake.
one.
No,
and I don't know. It had so much. It was just better written the first, go round, and just the way that they did it. Even though it was the same set, kind of same house, all that kind of crazy shit, but it wasn't the same. Yeah, and just look at the
that's
genres.
like any. I don't know. That's like any remakes. I think.
Well, that's why I hate remakes, even though I'm really excited for the new Halloween.
I mean, the poster does look sick.
Just some of the snippets that they've been giving you, it's just great. But yeah, other than that, like, remakes are terrible. I think they just realized, like, crap, this was a good idea.
Let's just keep rehashing this.
Yeah, and that's like same thing with any movie, TV show, whatever does really well. This is something that we can, actually make money off of.
You know, it was a good movie that I don't think gets a lot of fanfare.
What?
Just like this, Disturbing Behavior.
Wait, that was who was that with? Katie Holmes?
Katie Holmes, yep.
I haven't seen that in a long time, man.
You remember that one?
I
Like
do
where
remember
they who was the dad in that? The dad in that is like a big time actor too. Well, so is like they're all big time actors.
Did you like the
Faculty?
Yeah, it's the same kind of movie.
Yeah, same kind of movie. Both really good movies. I think are both really underrated too.
I would agree, and I think a lot of people would agree on that.
But that's like the same kind of concept of Eerie, Indiana, Disturbing Behavior, where he moves into a new town, right?
And just everything's fucked up.
And his family thinks everything is perfect.
I totally forgot about that.
And
but that is a good
he
segue
thinks
to
like
Eerie, Indiana.
He thinks like, he sees that everything's like fucked up. And they try to, the parents try to control him.
I'm going to have to go rewatch that.
That was a good movie.
When's the last time you watched that? How do you remember that?
I don't know how I remember that. I think I have the VHS.
Do you really?
Oh, I think we did. I don't know where the hell it is anymore.
Oh, dude, if we had that, I would
pull it up
that.
real quick. Yeah, I think that's like whenever I think of Eerie, Indiana, I think the movie version is Disturbing Behavior, because he moves into a new town. His parents like, we're gonna start over. This is a good life for you and your sister, and blah blah blah. And like basically, the adults brainwash the kids. And at the end, did you ever see that movie, Disturbing Behavior?
It came out. What did it came out?
No.
This one, Disturbing Behavior.
1998, man.
So right after all that stuff too. Yeah, Katie Holmes. I remember she was really big after Dawson's Creek.
Yeah.
Was this her first movie?
Well,
it got a 5.5 out of 10.
It was good, man. I don't know why people hate on this movie.
All right, here's my theory with all
under an hour and a half.
Yeah, see, this is a horror, mystery, sci-fi.
Well, I think it's not really horror to me. I think it's more of like a sci-fi mystery.
Well, that's the thing, that the horror genre, it can encompass everything. Like everybody, like Get Out, right? It was a horror movie.
I didn't see that one either.
It was good. It was a good movie, but it wasn't like a horror movie to me. You know, when I think of horror movies, I think of Halloween. Yeah, and same thing with this. This wasn't, I would say this was more of like a sci-fi mystery kind of thing than really a horror.
Yep.
But I guess it is qualified as a horror because that umbrella of horror can be anything. But I always had the theory, if it's like an hour and a half,
it's usually bad.
Yeah, like if it's under an hour and a half, it's usually bad. And this is 6 minutes under.
This was pretty good though.
But I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch it. And it's on Amazon Video for.
Because what was his name?
Oh shit, it's on Prime.
Which
one?
One of the other characters. This guy. Remember, he's a teacher at the end.
Oh
he's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Hey, class.
What's his name? This kid, Nicky Stahl.
Yeah,
Gavin.
Gavin. Yep.
He plays Gavin, but his name is what? Nick Stahl.
Yep, you had some big name actors in this, man.
Yeah, he did. It was good. I would agree. And same thing with
The Faculty.
The Faculty.
Faculty was good too, man.
When did that come out?
Probably around the same time, 99, 2000 maybe. Maybe even 97.
That one I remember.
That one
Yeah,
was,
that was a good one.
yeah, that was a good movie.
Especially the end of it. It was a
98.
good ending.
6.5 out of 10.
That's it.
Oh,
That's weak.
See?
So
And
when did they rate this? In 2015? And
yeah.
then
See, some of these
I don't
ratings
know.
are bullshit.
Well, I never go on ratings. Like,
No, I don't
if
either,
If
but-
you went to the movies, like same thing with the movie critics. You remember that? Like Robert and Ebert, whatever their names are. Like when they were like 2 thumbs up. Like most of the movies that I really enjoyed always got like a thumb down, like were shitty ratings. Just because it was horror. Horror never got as much play as it is, I guess, now.
Yeah.
But here, look at this. An hour and 44 minutes.
Okay, fucking 20 minutes longer than the other one.
Boom. It still holds water into my kind of
meets
theory.
the criteria.
Yeah. And it's a horror sci-fi.
Like I remember the teacher, like him trying to bang the teacher.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And they got together at the end.
Yeah.
They got together at the end.
Urban Legend, that was another good flick.
That could have been better, but that wasn't bad.
I Know What You Did Last Summer, that was another,
That's a classic too. Yeah.
I Know What You Did Last Summer.
the
Yeah.
first one.
That was a good one. Yeah, but see, all these things bring back these memories, and this is why I wanted to share this
Did
topic.
you ever, like Final Destination, I never watched any of those. Were those any good?
Like any ones, after a while they got
Just
just
what about
cheesy.
the first one?
First one it terrified me because of the plane. Like I always had that reoccurring dream. I don't know if it was because of the movie
Yeah.
or, I just always had I never really always had a fear of flying just
You
because.
definitely have a fear of flying.
Well, I don't like to fly, but I've flown, when I was younger and never thought about it. Like when I flown to Australia, I never really gave it a second thought. And then all of a sudden, as I got older, I don't know, it was because of the dreams or, after seeing Final Destination where the plane blows up, being like, fuck, I don't want to die like that. That's what it looks like.
It'll be over quick though.
I mean, I would hope it would be, but
It'll be over quick.
if it wasn't, I'd just be like, shit, that sucks.
I don't know. I feel like 80s and 90s movies and TV shows were 10 times better than what they are now.
See, but here's another thing that
10
I always
times
think.
better.
Because you have that, like looking at it now, right? If I gave this to Joe and I said, all right, go here, take this box set, now go home and watch this. Go
I
home
guarantee
and watch.
you'll like it.
I don't know if he'll
Probably.
look at it and be like, this is so fucking cheesy.
It
How
is
does anybody
cheesy,
like
but
it?
I think it's good though.
No, but
Yeah.
you have a different perspective when you're younger, right? Just looking at things like it's that nostalgic kind of feel.
Yes.
Because you just sit there and be like, holy shit, I remember this from the childhood. I remember kind of like growing up.
Like,
And
what was your favorite movie growing up?
Oof, growing up. In terms of like horror movie or just in any movie?
Any
I
movie.
used to love Ninja Turtles 1. I would watch that.
That's a
repeat,
classic movie
and
too, man.
The costumes in that movie are
it is good.
insane.
See, like, I think the costumes in that movie are 10 times better than the ones that they have now.
Correct.
Oh, for the CG, yeah.
Yeah, the CGI ones, that's bullshit.
Yeah, and they actually had people in those suits.
Yes.
That was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, they were just real actors wearing giant turtle suits.
No, I agree. But you have that sense of, when you're younger, it's just more, you have the other feelings when it comes along with it. It's not like now where everybody picks everything apart nowadays. It's just like, oh, this is crap. This is, sucks. It's not the same.
Like, even like some of like the action movies I thought were 10 times better.
Like
Some of like the special effects obviously aren't that good, but like Cliffhanger.
Oh, classic.
Classic Stallone movie.
All right.
Yes.
Here's another thing, because I was a big fan of Airborne. Do you ever see Airborne?
Yes.
I know you have. Have you seen Airborne?
Is that the one about the Ebola?
No, it's
No.
it's a kid like
Okay, no.
he was from California, right? And he gets I don't know, his parents go on a trip to Australia or something like that, and they can't bring him with him.
Okay.
And he goes to Minnesota, right? Minnesota?
No.
It wasn't Minnesota?
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati. It was somewhere cold.
Okay.
So it was basically like he plays hockey.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
No. Mitchell
You know
Guzin.
what? Okay.
Mitchell Guzin.
There it is. Yeah, he was a kid from California.
See, but it's an hour and 31 minutes.
He surfs and rollerblades. That was a big thing of the rollerblades.
Yeah, he rollerblades.
He wasn't like a surfer. That was a classic.
Yeah,
but
based on that cover, it looks vaguely familiar.
but I remember like showing it to people and being like, "This is really cheesy."
Dude, I remember at the end
What?
when they had the race.
Oh yeah.
Like, what was his name? Seth Green was in the movie?
Seth Green was in this movie.
Seth Green.
He was Wiley.
What's the guy's name that
Jack?
was like, he's like, I don't have any hobbies, but if you call it putting tattoos on foreheads of guys I don't like
Snake.
hobbies. Yeah, Snake.
That's Jacob Vargas.
Jet Black was in the movie.
Jack Black was in this.
Wow.
He was Augie, and that was one of my favorite parts when they were like describing themselves, like, "Oh, what yeah." It was speech class, so they got up. I like Nintendo. I like hockey.
And then he goes,
Yeah, and he flips out and he just like walks away.
that's another good movie you should watch.
But if you look at this, right, and then you go back, even same thing, like the movie Thrasher. That was cool. That was an early 80s movie.
Never saw that movie.
Nope.
I really enjoyed Airborne, but it was so cheesy that when people watch it, when I had some people watch it, they're like, this is so cheesy. How is this your favorite movie? But it's one of those things, no matter who you talk to, well, back in my day, it was better. Like cartoons are better, TV shows are better. Nowadays, it sucks. But then,
See, I don't really remember any cartoons from our.
if you ask people now, 30 years from now, about shows, they'll probably say the same exact thing. Like, oh, today it just sucks. Like, you had to put on goggles and it's virtual reality.
See, I don't know, man.
It's not the same feel.
I think that like there's a couple TV shows now that I look at. I don't know, maybe because they're set or filmed in a way that was from the 80s and 90s, like Stranger Things.
Perfect. Yeah, that's great.
I was phenomenal.
And that's a good example, just like Eerie, Indiana, right? Because that brings back that nostalgic feel for me.
Yeah.
These two brothers had this vision that they said, we love this crap, right?
Yep.
This was something we grew up on, like, E.T., Ghostbusters, Steven Spielberg, all these kind of things. And they encompassed in the one, what a TV show, movie, whatever you want to call it.
Did you ever see the movie Take Me Home?
Take Me Home Tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that's another movie that's like from this era, but it was like
Because
an 80s movie.
It's people growing up, enjoying this stuff, and, putting their own spin
You
on
ever see that movie?
everything.
No, have not. I think if you ask me if I ever seen the movie, it's gonna be like
No.
80% of the time is gonna be no.
Dude,
Joe didn't watch a lot of
you
movies.
gotta
back
watch
then.
that movie because there was a couple funny ass parts in that movie.
There is when he's in the bathroom.
Yes,
What
and
was he
goes, "We're
snorting
doing
cocaine?
and then he does it. He goes,
Well, we'll have to compile a list from the from the podcast, and I'll watch them all.
It's Take Me Home Tonight, right?
Yeah.
The movie. I'm just trying to pull it up. Why do you got
2011.
Play the trailer real quick.
Why do you want me to play this trailer? This is the.
No, go back.
You want me to play this one? It's 32 seconds.
Yeah, sure. Play this trailer.
I don't know if it's gonna get in trouble.
No, it'll be good.
You can't even hear it. You don't even have your headphones on.
Put the headphones.
Tori Fredericking is back.
Did you even ask her out?
You went to Sherman.
This guy reminds me of you, Joe, by the way.
Yeah.
What's that guy's name? Topher.
Where it is someone's gonna ride the ball tonight.
That 70 show guy.
When you just gotta say.
I love this song.
Could be worse.
It couldn't be any worse.
Put your hands in the air!
Wow, wrong again.
Take Me Home Tonight. Rated R. In theaters March 4th.
But that goes with anything, right? That just says.
No, you should play the trailer for Airborne.
No, that's so it's so cheesy and so early 90s. It's like back in the day. What do we got?
Oh, we got audio playing.
Oh man, it just played the other video. Sorry about that. Yeah, but all right, how come we didn't do like this? Would be something because we're not filmmakers, but
No.
this would have been a cool idea if we were growing up and said, we have an idea like The Strangers or The Stranger Things.
Yeah.
I had The Strangers in my head. But something like that. And I think that's why people enjoy this stuff because they remember their childhood as almost like, yeah, it was the best time ever.
Well, yeah, everyone thinks that about their childhood, right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people do. There's some people that probably like my childhood sucked, but
Well, yeah. I feel bad for those people, but yeah.
but majority of them, like looking back on this, it's I guess I grew up and this is who I became.
You became what you saw in these movies.
A Marshall Teller.
You became Marshall
You
Teller.
are Marshall Teller.
Hunting for the weirdness that is in Erie here.
All right, let me ask you this question.
All right.
If you could hunt like one paranormal thing.
Bigfoot or aliens? I love Bigfoot, man. I don't know. Something about Bigfoot. I mean, I like ghosts. We did a ghost hunt.
Yep.
And we did
Which was very...
We did it with the ghost hunters.
I think we got something.
Yeah, that was weird, but...
You can't explain that to me.
I can't unless they had a machine that was
There was
pumping
no
out
way.
smoke. I don't know. Let's fill in the listeners and Joe on this. So what was this? 10 years ago?
It had to be 10 or more years ago. Yeah,
Probably when Ghost Hunter, when we were still into the show Ghost Hunters.
probably like third season ish.
Okay.
And they did a local. They were coming to town in Burlington, New Jersey, at the old jail, and we won't say that online.
We'll tell you off the air.
And so who was it? It was Tango and Steve.
Yep,
Two
and
of the
his dad.
guys, not the main guys, but two of the guys on the show. They were coming there to do like a talk and ghost hunt.
Yeah, you could ghost hunt like throughout the night with them.
Yeah, so we said, all right, it's in our own backyard. Let's go along and let's
So
do
you
it.
went.
Yeah, we and like again, we were not the type of people that do ghost hunts or anything like that.
Nah, you should have saw some of the people that were there.
Oh, they were all into it. We kind of stayed to the back, because they had a session at the library before where they talked.
Yeah, they had the Q&A. People were asking the dumbest.
And we stayed back, because we actually met them a bunch of times before. So we were, we're just here for the investigation. We'll talk to them throughout the night. And it was a cool night.
So basically, like you can go in any of the cells, any like downstairs.
It's an old jail that still exists. It's a museum.
Okay.
And it's supposedly really haunted.
And I never see. Before that, I didn't see that episode.
I did. I vaguely remember it.
And I didn't see it. So we were outside, like in the.
It was
rec
like by the
area.
gallows area. So it was this big. It's a cool looking building because
Yep.
it's just all stone.
Mhm.
And we had free range of this place at night. I don't know why. Looking back at it, I don't know how like these museums would allow this to happen.
Yeah.
Because there was really no supervision.
No, none.
And you could walk anywhere. There was certain. Because I remember walking into the office at one point.
Yeah, there were certain areas that were roped off, but they weren't like locked.
Yeah, and I remember walking into the bookstore
Yeah.
and being like, holy shit, I don't know if there's cameras, but I could take everything that's in here.
Yeah.
I thought that in my mind, but I was like, whatever, we're here, for
That's
other
where you got
stuff.
the box at Eerie, Indiana.
Yeah, stole that right from the freaking museum
Yeah,
store.
so we're outside and
by the gallows.
and like you started getting like a cigar smell, but like it would puff, and then you'd walk and it wouldn't be there.
Yeah,
and then you'd walk like 2 more steps and it would be there.
Like visual, you'd see
No,
like
no, you would
you'd
just smell
it. Okay.
Yeah, man, it was weird.
it did smell like somebody was smoking a cigar right there. When you would take
Okay,
that,
but there's no
hit,
visual of smoke.
No.
or
No,
anything.
there
It
was
just-
nothing. We would walk around and we were just like, and there was only 3 of us. It was me, you, and Christine, and we were just all walking around, and we would smell this. And then like you walk 2 feet and you wouldn't smell it. And keep in mind, we're in this back courtyard. Nobody else is around.
There was no wind
And
or no nothing. The walls were right
The
there.
walls,
So
it's a prison. So the walls are about like 30 feet. So it's not like
Right.
somebody's on the other side like smoking and it kind of drifts into the yard.
yeah, it was very weird.
And it was right by the gallows. And we're looking around, we try to do as much as we can, but that's the only thing that we experienced
Yeah.
there that night. And we did go up to Steve and Tango and we were
Yep.
like, yeah, we had this experience like 2 minutes ago. They're like, yeah, that's been some of the reports.
Okay.
But I don't know.
What was there any main conspiracy or like
About the
one of the
place?
cells is haunted or
I forget the whole episode and
Yeah,
I'll
I
have to
don't-
look it up. And I'm
you
sure
know, like they're
I
trying
can
to
look it up
prove
now.
something or disprove something specific or not really.
But like when you were inside though, like you couldn't really investigate inside because
Okay.
there's way too many people.
Right.
From what I remember, I don't think there was that many people. Just from my memory, I don't
But
know.
it's
I could
like
be wrong.
small, so it wasn't like that big. Because I remember we left like
We left at like, it felt like 3 o'clock in the morning. I think it was only like 1 o'clock.
yeah.
And I think the event went on till what, 2 o'clock?
Probably.
It was weird because it was just Steve and Tango. I don't
Yep.
think anybody from the museum was there.
No.
And it was just like open for all these people. And some people had their recorders.
Yeah.
We had nothing.
Yeah, we didn't-
We just had ourselves and we were just walking around. The only thing we had was we were taking pictures.
Yep. Yep.
Was that even on a phone then?
No, it was on like one of those digital like cameras.
That's funny. Oh yeah, I did have my digital camera.
Here's one thing I want to. This is very off topic,
I mean, this whole episode's been
but I
off
think
topic.
it's hysterical. Like when like right now like you could send selfies to somebody like let's say you're dating a girl or whatever like that. You
Yeah.
can send some like dick pics.
Okay.
Great, like that's the picture
Yeah,
if you're
that's-
watching on
Yeah,
YouTube.
that's cool.
So you walked in
Definitely
here
cool.
and then these are like the see, so there's nothing. These are the walls.
Yeah, and the library is
And-
right next door.
Oh yeah, because I do remember walking down a hallway, getting to this, and the lights were on. I was like, oh shit, we're probably not supposed to be in here.
Yeah.
And yeah, but these are the walls. The walls as large as the building.
Yep.
They do. They did. I do remember going to a haunt here during October. But it is a cool spot in Mount Holly.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool building.
Yes. All right. So here's a great picture because this is the back of it.
That's where
Here's
it
the
was.
walls, and right here to the left, I'll blow up the picture a little bit if you're watching this. Right in here was the gallows, and nobody was in this courtyard when we were in there.
But us, yeah.
Yeah,
very
it was
weird.
cool because we got to just hang out. But I think we just got tired taking pictures and walking around. That was the only thing we saw, and I think we were kind of upset too because, like you said, there was a lot of people.
And they were inside, like, and the people were hogging, like I'm sure of them. We didn't really get to talk to them.
Yeah, we didn't talk to them much, and I don't even remember why we wanted to do this. I think it was just a cool experience.
Yeah, it's a thing to do.
But that's a place in Mount Holly. We have to go back there.
But here all right. So
trying
getting
to
back to my question.
Yeah,
Alright.
off topic.
Off
Yeah,
topic
off-topic.
question.
You know, like you had like the Polaroid camera, not the Polaroid, but like the
Digitals? Or
no,
whatever?
the twist up
yeah,
disposable
The
camera.
35
disposable.
millimeter. Yeah.
So you'd have to go
Kodak?
to, so you'd have to go to like Walgreens or CVS to get them developed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, I'm sure when you were growing up or when you had a girlfriend in high school, like she would like take pictures for you, right?
Not really. It
On a
wasn't like a
35
big
millimeter.
thing.
Yeah. Imagine like the people developing that.
Well, I have a funny story. I used to work at a photo place and develop the thing.
Yes.
Are you serious?
Tell me you
Swear.
looked at those.
I didn't see too many dick pics or
Not like dick
whatever,
pics, but like
weird.
like girls in like lingerie or like
Did you
bras
keep
and
doubles?
panties.
Um,
I
kept
would
doubles?
definitely if hot ones. Oh yeah, I would
no
do.
doubles. I really didn't see much. One time, the weirdest thing that I saw was, this woman had brought in one of the cameras, and it was like pictures of her like beaten up. It was really weird.
What?
I don't know if she like fell down the stairs or someone hit her, but it was like really weird. Pretty graphic photos, and she brought them in herself, which was odd. But
maybe her boyfriend liked that.
yeah, I don't know.
Weird.
And I think there was one guy that would come by and it would be like pictures of chicks,
Yes.
him like banging girls and stuff. And
Well, did you ever watch
Stuff
that?
like
What was
that.
that movie? Photoshop with Robin Williams. That was
No.
kind of like a horror movie.
I never watched that show.
it wasn't called Photoshop. It was called.
I'll look it up. You remember the
I
movie
do
though,
remember
right?
that movie, and that
No,
was
it
around the
wasn't
time
called-
that I was working. I used to work at what was it called? Eckert. Eckert. That's out of business now.
What was the premise of that movie?
He was like he worked at a photo developing center, whatever you want to call it.
1 hour photo.
1 hour photo. That was it. Yes.
It's a drama thriller.
Yeah.
That was creepy as fuck.
Yeah.
You never
And I
saw
don't-
it?
And he was like stalking the people, and I don't know. Did he kill anybody? I don't know.
I don't remember. 2002. So it was
2002, yeah.
16 years ago.
It's an hour and 36 minutes, so it
6:20.
has to be
But I
good.
do remember at the end. Was it
6:28.
at the end? Where he had they show him in his apartment. All he had was a chair in
and
the
then
apartment, and then
photos
on the one wall, instead of like a TV like normal people have, he had all these photos of people.
That's
that he had
fucking-
developed.
It's fucking creepy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was a creepy movie. It was one of those plain movies, like where everything, like even look what he's wearing. Everything is just like plain colors,
Right.
like those taupe colors, just really
Yeah.
plain, and it makes life seem so like dull and boring.
Yeah.
And then watching the movie, and realize how creepy this guy is, you're just
Yeah,
like,
because everybody
what the-
liked him. You know,
Yeah.
in the show, his customers they really thought well of him. But
oh, he was gonna get fired, right? He got like fired or something.
I remember
Go
watching it. I
watch
can't
this
remember.
movie. You'll be like, what the
Alright.
fuck did I just
Yeah.
watch? But just like anything. And that's where I'm sure everybody has their movie.
Yeah.
Everybody has their TV show, to kind of bring them to that certain place, right? Whether it's a good like airborne field type movie where it's like, or Stranger Things, anything, man. And I think it was like a good discussion just for that, like opening up. And I think
Yeah.
if you get enough people to talk about what like really got them into a certain subject, like Halloween,
Sure.
or like, you're really into fitness, like whatever gets you into something and gets you hooked. And then for the rest of your life, like you go down that path. And that was like Eerie, Indiana for me.
Well,
Did you ever read the books? Because one of my recommendations, I always like, we like to make recommendations on the show, is the books. Do you ever read the books?
I did not know.
So they have these books, Foreverware. We have them here. It's the Foreverware, the Return of Foreverware. So they made these books, I think years later. They were just like a Goosebump type books, just about Eerie, Indiana.
Okay.
So it's kind of cool. And I'll link it up in the show notes for people to go check that out. Do you have any recommendations for people?
Don't watch the Other Dimension.
Don't watch The Other Dimension. Just watch episode 1 and you'll get a good feel for it.
Yeah, I think so.
Even though it was kind of cheesy the way that they brought in the old for the new. Because they had the beginning, if you saw the movie, or not the movie, the show,
Yeah.
where they're there, that's the scariest home video. So they took that clip and it's just like them nodding.
Yep.
And it's like some weird voice talking instead of Marshall and Simons. But yeah, I think that was, I don't think we talked about too much of the show.
No, but I think we got the gist of it.
Yeah, the gist.
It brings back memories. I think, the show was what it was. He investigated the paranormal and creepiness around his town. Yeah, but I think that, for you, it brings back, your childhood and your memories.
Yeah, it just encompasses what this show's all about. Exploring the unexplained. The movie phone voice is back. So check out next week, which will have the weekday horror, weekday weird.
Weekday horror.
Horror's on my brain, man. So the weekday weird, we'll be doing some videos now in between some of the shows. we're gonna, like we said before, we're gonna continue doing the shows. We're not gonna stop putting them out. I don't think we're just gonna do the shows.
Yep.
And we're not just gonna say, all right, well, next week at Tuesday we're gonna do the show. It's gonna come out whenever, and we'll have different topics. But the Weekday Weird will come out every week.
Yep.
And this week for the Weekday Weird, we're talking about the CIA
Death gun.
net gun.
Not net gun.
I like the net gun.
We should get one.
You want to get the net
I
gun?
would love to hit Dad with the net gun. He would be pissed.
Dad wouldn't like that, so I wouldn't do that.
Just in his chair. Net gun! You just got to scream it, though.
What? The net gun?
Yeah.
We got the net gun.
Yeah,
But-
CIA death gun. Look into that.
And coming up, and then I have a good topic for our next episode.
What?
You probably heard of this. We'll get into it. Did you ever hear of this? You heard of it. We talked about it. We discussed it before. How would you actually pronounce it? It's a Russian, right? It's Russian. It's
Yeah, I wouldn't even know.
Detlow Pass incident. This is an unsolved, it's still unsolved, death of 9 hikers in northern Soviet Union, which is now Russia, who went missing, and nobody has any clue what the hell happened to people. This is I don't know if I'm saying it right. I'll keep listening to the people saying it. The Detlow Pass incident. From
DYA
1959. This happened.
LOV.
It's creepy, man. I watched tons of videos on this already, so we'll be talking about that on our next podcast. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. Help spread the word about our podcast, right? Check us out on Patreon, YouTube, and visit our website. That's where all of our information can be found at nightmare365.com. And like we always like to say, man, until next time,
Stay spooky.